Authorities continue to inspect structures after a magnitude 6.3 earthquake jolted Luzon this morning. Residents in Albay report ashfall in their areas as Mayon volcano continues to erupt. And call him coach. People's champ Manny Pacquiao assumes the role of trainer to a social media influencer. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. A magnitude 6.3 earthquake rocked Batangas at exactly 10:19 this morning. The earthquake's epicenter was at 4 kilometers west of Calatagan in Batangas with a depth of 103 kilometers. Intensity 4 was felt in Quezon City, Manila, Mandaluyong, Valenzuela, and Malolos in Bulacan. The tremor was also felt in some parts of Batangas, Dasmariñas and Tagaytay in Cavite, and Tanay in Rizal. PHIVOLCS is expecting minimal damage and aftershocks from the quake, which was tectonic in nature. In line with that, the Department of Transportation has assured that the cracks discovered in the Boni and Ayala MRT stations are no cause for alarm. Transportation Assistant Secretary Georgette Aquino said the MRT Line 3 remains safe for operations. Aquino says the cracks seen in Boni and Ayala stations do not pose any danger to commuters. Nevertheless, maintenance and engineering personnel have been ordered to conduct a more in-depth check on MRT 3 stations. Meantime, PHIVOLCS Director Toto Bacolcol talks about the origin and impact of earthquakes. Catch this full interview tonight on The Chiefs at 8:30 p.m. only here on One News. Moving on now, health experts are warning of the possible effects of the ashfall brought on by Mayon volcano's ongoing effusive eruption. The health department said that exposure to ash could trigger eye and lung infections, as well as skin irritation. The health department is advising Albay residents to refrain from going out or to use eye, mouth, and nose protection when outside their homes. PHIVOLCS has already reported brief ashfall events in 3 Albay towns over the last few days. We have more stories for you after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Philippines has recorded at least 11 aftershocks following the magnitude 6.3 earthquake that struck Calatagan in Batangas. Speaking to us here on One News Now, the OIC of the Seismological Observation and Earthquake Prediction Division of Philippines, Ishmael Narag, said the number of aftershocks they recorded is actually less than the shallower tremors. This is because the mechanism is not associated to what he calls a stress transfer. Narag also explained why the earthquake was felt as far as Metro Manila.
I'd like to understand that waves travel more efficiently along at depth because the material there is more denser. So that's why the felt area is wider compared to shallow events. And aside from the fact that it's actually a magnitude 6.3. When I say stress transfer, whenever a fault moves, much of the force that is or the stress that is accumulated along faults are being transferred to the surrounding area that might also activate nearby faults.
In other news, toll rate hikes at the North Luzon Expressway took effect today. For the open system, which covers the cities of Navotas, Valenzuela, and Caloocan to Marilao in Bulacan, NLEX will be implementing a 7 peso increase for Class 1 vehicles or regular SUVs and cars. For buses and small trucks or Class 2 vehicles, toll fees are now up by 17 pesos. Meanwhile, rates for Class 3 vehicles or large trucks are now more expensive by 19 pesos. And for those traveling end-to-end or from Metro Manila and Mabalacat City in Pampanga, you will have to shell out 33 pesos more for Class 1 vehicles, 81 pesos more for Class 2, and 98 pesos for Class 3 vehicles. Aside from these adjustments, a 36 centavo increase per kilometer is now being implemented for the closed system. This covers the portions along Bukawe in Bulacan and Santa Ines in Mabalacat, Pampanga, including Subic-Tipo. The Toll Regulatory Board explains that the new rates are part of their authorized periodic adjustments to curb the impact of high inflation. This is only half of the TRB's approved rate increase, so motorists may have to brace for another toll hike next year.
Kung tutuusin, kalahati nga lang po ang pinayagan ng ating tanggapan dito upang hindi naman po masyadong maapektuhan ang ating mga users. At the same time, makatulong na rin sa pag-igsa ng ating inflationary.
The Blackwater Bossing and the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings chalked up wins in the PBA on tour. Marty Bautista with the details.
McCarthy fires outside three is good.
The Blackwater Bossing and Converge Fiber Xers figured in a close match for most of their PBA on tour face-off at the Inares Arena in Pasig.
Pacernamer and McCarthy gets the foul goal.
In the middle of the fourth quarter, Blackwater was able to build a 9-point lead with the help of consecutive defensive stops. Converge was not able to catch up until the final buzzer. Final score 102-97 for the Bossing. This is the team's third win in the preseason tournament against 2 losses. Converge, meanwhile, skidded to its third straight loss and sunk to a 1-3 record. Phil-Am cager Rashawn McCarty put up 30 points in Blackwater's win as he outdueled Justin Arana, who had 32 markers.
We just wanted to really bounce back after our game against Northport. And the coaches and all my teammates, we really locked in the past couple of days in practice. And we were just locked in from the beginning defensively.
Pinto barking out instructions from the corner. They go to Gray. Hindi na binaba ni Bayan.
The Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings and Phoenix Fuel Masters also had a close fight. But Ginebra zoomed to a 10-point lead in the third quarter. The Kings held on to the lead until the end of the game despite a last-effort run from Phoenix in the payoff period. Final 95-89 for Ginebra. This is the Kings' first win at the 3 games at the PBA on tour. Ginebra's core players were still absent, but Nard Pinto took over the scoring load with 22 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals. PBA on tour action continues this Friday, still at the Inaris Arena. First to battle are the Terra Firma Jeep and NLEX Road Warriors at 5 p.m. Followed by the TNT Tropang Giga and Magnolia Hotshots at 7:30 in the evening. For News 5, Marty Bautista, we are One News.
And People's Champ Manny Pacquiao will be taking a boxing apprentice under his wing for the first time ever. The lucky guy is none other than Ukrainian social media influencer Vladimir Grand. Grand is based here in the Philippines and has 17.1 million followers on TikTok and almost 2 million Instagram followers. Grand himself showed a glimpse of his training with the Pac-Man. Coach Manny says he is personally training his apprentice from scratch. The Pac-Man also hopes that he can transform Grand into a sensational boxer in the future.
For the first time in the boxing history, I decided to get my first and only student, whom I will train personally from zero and who will become a great boxer. Famous TikTok star and blogger based in the Philippines, Vladimir Grand.
I still cannot believe this is happening. I'm just blown away by this news, Manny. This is a huge honor and privilege.
One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.